Hello everybody, welcome back. It's a beautiful sunny day today after a couple of days of rain. So it would be a day that snakes would be out and about. So we're going to go looking for snakes to go see what we can find, and I can explain to you some of the different snakes that we have in our area, what we might be able to find today. But please folks, don't do what I do at home unless you are experienced with handling snakes. I have been doing this for over 15 years and it is my profession, so it is advised to leave this to the professionals. Let's go see what we can find. Folks, we've got a very interesting little snake over here. This is what you call a Bibberns blind snake. Now this species is actually endemic to South Africa, so you'll find it nowhere else. You'll see that he's got a very non-distinct head. It's pretty much the same width of his body, with reduced eyes that are just pretty much only small dark spots underneath his skin. You'll see he's got extremely tightly packed scales, very tight together. Can you see that? And then also a very distinct nasal scale. This is because he leads a fossorial lifestyle. So what that means is that he lives underground. This is where they search out for their favorite prey, the eggs of ants and termites. Now it's quite difficult to tell the difference between the head and the tail, but when me picking him up, I can distinctly feel that this is the tail, because if you look carefully, he's got a sharp point there. This little sharp point is what they'll use to ward off would-be predators, so they'll actually stab you with the tail. It's not too painful, but something smaller might get a bit of a fright. Now what I find most interesting about this species of snake is that the females are actually reported to guard their eggs, which is very rare amongst your snakes. Also, you will find that the eggs are laid with the embryos quite developed already. So the eggs are hatched in a very short period of time, in less than a week. And those little babies will be about 1 to 1.2 centimeters. And she'll lay between 2 and 14 eggs at a time. Right, you can see it moving through the soil there, as it uses that very distinct nasal scale to part the soil as it moves underneath the soil, as it feeds and searches out for its favorite prey, these ant larvae. Now you won't often find them above ground, but when you do, it's generally after larger rainstorms that there's been a lot of water in the soil, which then encourages them to seek refuge above the soil. So this was a larger individual Bibberns blind snake. They generally range between the size of 18 centimeters, and the largest recorded was about 47 centimeters. So if we track her movement, you'll actually see over here, she's pushed this far into the soil. You can see the soil busy parted as she's looking for more prey under the soil. Now these guys are actually known for binge feeding. So they will actually come into an ant's nest or a termite mound and then feed as much as they can, putting on quite a lot of fat reserves, which will then actually lead the head to looking smaller than the body itself. There are two reasons why this snake is responsible for more deadly snake bites in southern Africa than any other snake. One being its wide distribution, it's found over pretty much most of southern Africa, and two being the fact that it is so well camouflaged. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but right in front of me here is a young puff adder. As I mentioned, this snake is responsible for more deadly snake bites in southern Africa than any other. One being because of its camouflage, two because of its wide distribution, and obviously what it is injecting into you. Now the venom that this snake carries is what you call a cytotoxic venom. So it's an extremely painful bite. It starts destroying your tissue as soon as it enters the body, and it will also start to coagulate your blood. So if you get bitten by the snake, you're going to know you've been bitten. How this venom is delivered is by rather large fangs that actually lie flat in her mouth. They're hinge fangs that are attached to the front of her jaw, upper jaw, and when she opens her mouth, they'll actually hinge forward and then they'll be exposed. So as we mentioned, these snakes carry a cytotoxic venom, so a tissue-destroying venom. Now, once you get bitten, there's going to be intense pain. You also will experience compartment syndrome with the swelling that will occur. Now, multiple organ failure may follow if you don't seek a medical help immediately. And then obviously, because it's a tissue destroying venom, you're going to get infection and then afterwards necrosis. Now, once the puff adder has bitten its prey item, it will generally release because they like to feed on rodents, which will often bite back, and this could cause infection in the snake. Now, it will release the prey, but the prey would have been envenomated already. Then moving off, the snake will follow the scent of the prey item. Now, how it will do this is by tracking it with its forked tongue. Now, in its venom is a chemical unique to every snake called disintegrant. So this snake will know this is my blueprint of my chemical disintegrant, and it will follow this and then finding the rodent after the rodent has died and then feeding on it at its leisure. Now, puff adders have reputations for being lazy snakes. This is also due to the fact that they won't move when they are stepped on, generally by people, and then they're bitten, and then obviously all the nasties come afterwards. But they're actually a very efficient snake. As you can see, it's got quite a thick body. This isn't fat per se, this is more muscles. They're extremely fast striking. They can strike at up to 5 meters in a second, if you put it into relation. Now, you'll see she's busy flicking her tongue at the moment. She's busy picking up scent particles. Obviously, me being here, it's made her a little bit nervous. Not too nervous where she'll actually display where she gets her name from, puff adder. So if they get very nervous, they'll actually start to puff and create a hissing noise to warn would-be predators or anything that might potentially stand on them that they are there. Now, another reason why they get the reputation for being lazy, because they don't move off, is because they're actually depending on their camouflage. Now, she doesn't want to move away and lose lots of energy that's taken a while for her to pick up by the prey that she feeds on. So she's going to rather lie still and hope that this beautiful camouflage of hers is going to be effective enough for the would-be predator to just walk on by without seeing her. This is a smaller individual, quite young, probably only about 2 years of age. Now, they are known to get up to about 90 centimeters on average, but in the northern range of their territory, they've known to reach up to 1.5 meters in length. So really, really big individuals. What's also quite interesting about your puff adders is that they give birth to live young. Normally between 20 to 40, sometimes 80 with your larger individuals, and a captive specimen once gave birth to 150 odd young. Notice the way that the snake is moving. She's not moving in your typical serpentine movement that you'll see most of snakes doing. Your larger body snakes like your adders and then your pythons will move along in this caterpillar-like motion. This is known as a rectilinear motion. It's very energy efficient and also doesn't advertise the snake as it moves along. Alright folks, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on snakes. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, take it easy.